I'm muted. I'm back now. Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner, given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers. It's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And being part of that team, I and our team have reached out directly and indirectly to over 300,000 fathers around the world since 2020. I also am a featured contributor on a network called Fly Nubian Queen. Fly Nubian Queen. Yes, Fly Nubian Queen, which is powered by Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins. And it's the place where Black women have a voice. And we're very happy to be part of that. And also, we are featured contributors also to Indie Soup Media TV, which is the address right here, which is powered by Dr. Tachi, new independent content network you can catch on YouTube, Facebook, and on the Roku channel. I was actually watching myself on Roku for the first time this afternoon, which was quite a joy. So, as always, like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. And you know what? I have to go get something. So you're going to get blissfully entertained by Aisha K. Staggers, Lala Key, who are the stars of the show. I'm just fodder. And I'll be back in just a moment. Ladies, it's your time. Well, you always shine. And so I'm going to be back in just a moment, and I'm just going to get something. So enjoy. Ladies first, as we say.
I don't know if they're going to enjoy this first part.
I don't either. Hey, Aisha.
Hi, Lala. So how's it
Good
going?
to see you. Oh my God. We're having such a wonderful mini tour.
Sure.
And we started in Portugal. We did a couple of shows in Spain. We have a couple of shows in Morocco. We're currently in Casablanca right now. It's during the time of Ramadan. So it's also nice to see. It's peaceful.
Eating after
But I'm hungry. I'm so hungry. And I have nowhere to eat.
you know, there was an earthquake in New Jersey yesterday.
I heard about that.
I felt it here in Connecticut, in upstate Connecticut. So, we talked earlier, and if you're following our Discord, I mentioned that I'd had some seizures this week. We know the seizure disorder. I live with it. But the couch started, I was watching Morning Joe. The couch started shaking. I thought I was having a seizure.
Oh my God. That was pretty powerful then. That's pretty powerful.
Yeah, but then I realized that my coffee cup was shaking and spilling coffee on the table. So then I was like, oh, okay, I don't understand.
So it's not me. It's not me.
I called my daughter. My daughter was like, oh, I didn't feel anything because I was out there working out in my room. So long story short, she calls me back. And when she finally leaves to go to campus, calls me back and said, oh, there was an earthquake. And I was like, oh, that's it.
Wow. This whole weather thing, guys, I read something really interesting about why this is the polar winds have shifted. And the next couple of months, we're going to really start seeing some crazy stuff. They don't know how exactly it's going to affect us in the upcoming years, but they have literally now reversed themselves. But we knew this stuff was coming because you can see nothing is normal. There is nothing normal about any of this weather that we're having.
No, and when you have earthquakes in Connecticut, okay, that should tell you that something is going. I was born in Connecticut. I live here now. There are a few years I didn't, but there's never been an earthquake in Connecticut in my lifetime.
Wow. We had one when I was a little girl in Kentucky, and I thought I just couldn't even believe it. We shook, so hard, but I didn't realize Kentucky is kind of not too far from a fault line. Right. But we had just never really experienced it. It's not a fun thing. Now, when I was in California, most of the time, I've only experienced maybe 3, and one of them was a rolling one. And it freaked me out because you could literally feel it just rolling. And I was like, what is that?
Jen Myers, hello everyone. JJ Mars, good afternoon. Jen, you've had a few in Ohio. Okay, that
Oh
look, Ohio. I wouldn't have expected that either.
no,
All
not
We're
at
right.
talking about
all.
the earthquake that I felt yesterday in Connecticut.
Yeah, there was some over. Yeah, in New York there was, in the
It started
Northeast.
in New Jersey.
Yeah.
You could feel it all the way up here. So that was where we started talking, and that's where we left off. We haven't gotten to
Okay.
Project 2025 yet.
Well, get to it now. I want to, because some people missed a few weeks ago. Actually, I was chatting with someone. She visits sometime in this space, and she goes, "Oh, what?" She goes, "Oh, I'm going to be calling a girlfriend. I don't know what I'm doing." I go, "It's 7 o'clock." She goes, "What are you talking about?" I went, 7 o'clock. Oh, the ladies. So hopefully she's going to be in the comments. But yeah, talk about Project 2025.
Okay, so Lala and I've had these conversations since that show. And there were some things that were said by some of our trolls that I just had some feelings about. And Dr. Vibe, you already know when I say this, what's going to happen afterwards. Okay, see, what you're not going to do is when you don't agree with or don't like something that women say, insult their appearance. Stand on business, argue your point, defend it, but don't insult.
Yeah.
That was inappropriate, and it ticks me off, to be honest. But beyond that, the fact that people thought we were schlepping for the Democratic Party, and then we often hear from some of the people in the chat that, oh, well, what has so and so done for us, and let's be very clear, okay? Black people have done everything that we have for us. We have done it. No one gave us a thing. If Lincoln could have signed the Emancipation Proclamation without freeing our ancestors, he would have. Because if you read the literature, he only did it because Frederick Douglass put pressure on him. The right to vote, our citizenship, all of that. That was what we did. We put the pressure on people. And let's be very, very clear. There are two political parties. We are a two-party system, and there are two parties. One party, we can put pressure on them, and they will at least hear us. The other party, they don't even want people that look like us in the party. Be very clear about that. And we're even more vindicated because this week, what came out? Oh, Donald Trump is going to roll back every last piece of civil rights legislation possible, rewrite them, reword them to the point that it covers racism against white people.
That's right.
I'm sorry, but I don't know very many white people that get in their cars and wonder if they're going to make it home. Every Black person I know does. So that's what I have
to have these conversations with our children at a very early age. My issue is right along with Aisha. Listen, you can disagree with us all day long. I can debate you. That's not a problem. You don't have to agree with what I say. But when you have a problem accepting that and you can't debate and you start to talk about our looks or, oh, I don't think this is the platform for political talk. Please, you've been in this show many times before and you know what we talk about and you know our platform. It even says it in our tagline. So if you can't handle the heat or you can't debate, then you don't have anything to stand on and you will not get any type of attention from us. We're just not going to put up with that. If you can't take it, go do your own research. We're only presenting you the facts that we have learned and we know, and looks have nothing to do with it. And your inability to debate has nothing to do with it either. So take it out.
And let's be very clear. You're lucky it was the two of us.
That's
all I'm going to touch on that one.
Okay. Yeah. For those who've been around a while, you know what that
Because some
comment is
other
all
folks
about.
would have cursed you out.
Yes, there was that's a whole. But interesting enough, I see that person's communicating with us a little bit in text
Well,
message.
she's been communicating with me. You know, we never stopped really.
Okay, well there you go. So a few people.
That's my
What is
sister.
up? What is up, Dr. Tachi?
Hey,
Indie
Dr.
Soup Media, the
Tachi.
driving force, and I was watching some of Indie Soup Media today. Question for you, Dr. Tachi. When are we going to see this one on? Or has it been on already? I don't know. I can't keep up. We're very excited to have this one on, this conversation on Indie Soup Media. Let's say it again. And also, Fitness IQ Cam in the house. Good evening. And she says, Taisha, to the ladies, say it again.
What you're not going to do. Okay. So look, here's the thing. And I said this over many years before. When a Black woman says to you, what you're not going to do, just know that there's nothing to say after.
No.
All right. Okay. So let's, before we getting warmed up here, as always, Primetime Saturday at Patreon. There's a link. Primetime Saturday products. There's a link. You'll also see it in a minute on your comment section. Join the Primetime Saturday Discord group. Email me at dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. Also subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube. Hit the notification button. Also follow the Dr. Vibe Show on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. And if you want to do any advertising, we're here. Email me, dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. Anything else you ladies want to chat with before we go in? Anything else?
Oh yeah, and we don't wear makeup for the male gaze. Well, for some men, we wear it because we like it.
Okay. And one other question, so Aisha, who are you cheering for in tomorrow night's NCAA?
Oh yes. As you can see, look, I am about the Huskies. Period. I done paid enough money to UConn. UConn better give me some.
But they lost last night.
I know, but
that's all right.
Some return on my investment somehow.
Okay.
Return on my investment.
So Lala,
let's do something here, right?
I miss, and it's funny. The thing I left to do, it was already here. I overthought. So, but it's all right. The ladies cover
like
base. And Lala, where are you stopping next? What's next part of the tour?
Marrakesh.
Wonderful.
We will be doing a show early tomorrow morning for brunch, and pretty excited about that.
Oh, yeah, we're going to actually put some of that on the Patreon.
Oh, actually, okay, we'll talk offline. Yeah, I thought about something and going, okay. Oh, one other thing too, Lala. I remember one of the interns that was working with me, Addison.
Yes.
You had a chance to speak with her. So
yes.
Her last day was this week. But what I did is I actually showed your Instagram video of you and Will singing together. She was in tears. She goes, they're so nice. They
I love it. I love it.
She was going, oh, they're so sweet together. And she was, so it was all good. So
actually gonna
all right.
An interview, and we're going to talk about one song in particular that they wrote. So we're looking forward to that.
There's a way now, I'll be able to take some clips from that. I totally forgot about that. So there's ways you can put it up, and you can tease it, whether it's Discord group, Instagram, whatever. Okay. Now people want you guys to get into it. So let's get into it. First conversation piece: Judge blocks quote fishing expedition unquote on Stormy Daniels documentary.
I'm really tickled with this judge. I'm not feeling so good about the other cases and these judges allowing Trump to get away with so many things. And so the fact that someone is finally spanking his little orange tail or stepping on one of the two makes me happy. I have a feeling for some reason these other cases are just not going to be the one that's take him down. But I think this Stormy Daniels one is going to, because she's not going away. And they had plenty of time to present this stuff to the judge. And he said, no, you had plenty of time. You're just doing another stall tactic. He called it the way that he saw it. And then also people are speaking out the way that Trump is putting people's lives in danger. Talking about people's families, dragging in stuff that he shouldn't be dragging in and putting these people in danger. And just how it's all falling out. But I do think that this is the one that's probably going to bring him down before the other ones, because he's got too much play and too much we reel it out and try to get the fishy. And I just think he's got too much play in the reel on these other cases. And I don't think Jack is getting what he wants. It's dragging on. Yeah. But the fact that he is trying these backdoor tactics, and in this case, it's not working, makes me one happy girl.
So, like, you guys all saw the picture that I sent in our private chat with the judges on the Supreme Court wearing those insurrection ones.
Oh, shame!
Yes,
the J6.
Yes.
So, okay, this thing here is funny because Stormy Daniels, let's be clear, NBC Universal, Comcast did a documentary on Stormy Daniels. Well, Trump has an issue with the documentary. So what he wants to do is go on a fishing expedition and find out who the witnesses were and get their information, because we know what this is. It's not just a stall tactic, This man put people's names, addresses, everything on Front Street, hoping that somebody's going to come through and do some violence.
Yeah, and that's the whole plan. I mean, he's good at that. And we are going to talk about a little bit of this in the next, but all he has to do is say something and the idiots march. I mean, it's just too much. I mean, I'm sorry, if this would have been anybody else, especially if it was a man of color, this man would have been under the jail. They would have actually executed him. Don't give me, I kid you not. That's how I really feel. But the fact that he continues to get away just makes me sick to my stomach, because we don't have the America that I hoped that we had. I knew America was broke. Everybody knows that every country has their own issues. But to see it burning in front of you at the level that it's burning and as fast as it's burning, it's heartbreaking.
What black man do you know is going to be able to walk around doing the stuff that he's doing?
Or saying, or even saying.
You owed $445 million, bruh. Where's the money? Because that right there was totally unfair. Browder,
how is that even possible?
I don't get it. In jail because he couldn't come up with bond because somebody suspected he stole a backpack that he didn't, and he died afterwards because he spent 3 years there and he took his own life, and it was a small amount of bail. This man right here, I'm sorry, I don't care if it was a civil case, because if I couldn't pay a civil case, they're hauling my black ass to jail.
Yep, they sure are. They sure are. And not giving you any kind of bond. Okay, so like no ifs, no get out of jail free, no nothing.
Now you doing your 30 days, Aisha.
Wow.
And we might not bring you bread. So I'm just sick to my stomach. And here's the thing. I'm getting new perspective on so many different things because I'm traveling the world. And I think a lot of us, and I was going to post something on my social media about this. I'm seriously thinking about it. The fact that we are fed garbage every single day, in and out. And every time we choose our topics, I look at them and I go, didn't we just talk about this last week? Didn't we just talk about this week? It's the same people over and over who are still committing the same crimes. But yet when you come out of America and you see just how much crap they're keeping you in, this ball of confusion, you start to breathe and you go, wait, I can take a deep breath for a few minutes and figure out what it is that I really want to see, because you are getting different news outside of the United States of America. And the more people that you run into in different countries, 3 countries now, Spain, Portugal, Africa, all have a perspective and a sadness for us. When you hear, when they say, where are you from? And we tell them, they're like, oh, America, what's going on?
But you know why that
You
is,
know?
Mama? Because our news media, the cowardice thing that it is, and I do not count myself in the cowardness, because we know how I roll. But our media, if our media covered this stuff the way the media outside of the country did,
Yeah.
I think people would wake up a lot faster.
Yeah. But this also shows how the minion and the cultish thing can take over so fast. MAGA is a cult. I don't care what you tell me. You're never going to convince me otherwise. This man literally told you what he can do, and he didn't lie. He can literally walk out and shoot someone and they still would vote for him as president. And this has me major concern, because it's the people who don't speak out loud, who think just like him, who are the ones who are not the ones who's saying anything. That's why he gets in, y'all. It's not just the crazies out there that we talk about. It's the people who goes, yeah, but you know, and then put that vote in.
Yeah, and let's be very clear. When he says he will walk out on Fifth Avenue and shoot someone, that is not just a dog whistle. That's a bullhorn. He might not himself do it, because he's not going to prison for none of these cuckoos, but he will make sure that one of them does.
Yes. Yes. I don't know. It just, I've really been thinking about this all day, and the fact that I've been able to kind of step away from the madness, because, you know, I don't, here's the thing. I don't always have internet over here. Okay. Like when I'm traveling, I turn off my phone because I don't want to get the charges built up for roaming or whatever. And then when I open my phone and I see what all is happening in America, I'm like, you know, and then all of a sudden you shut it off again and you're like, what a nice day. What a great, you know, and it's like, oh my God, I have to check myself. I'm going to have to limit myself on this garbage, because I can't flourish. And if I can't flourish, I can't be the light for someone else. And that's always been my motto, is to be the light. But if you can't be the light because your darkness is around you all the time, then you're a part of the madness.
And you see why some people tune this stuff out and don't show up until they come up upon voting day.
Yeah.
Like, for example, we had our primary this week in Connecticut, and it was just the presidential primary. So most people don't realize there's going to have to be another one. I believe it's in August for the actual down ballot races, right? But when we went, there were no people in there. There were people coming in and out, but there were no people in there. And I realized that a lot of people become detached at this phase in the game. And here's the thing. If you don't show up for the presidential primary, and I can tell you who's on that ticket, on the Democratic one was Joe Biden, Marianne Williamson, who was the other person? Oh, Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks, and what's the one that they've been doing in like
I don't even know anymore.
You know what uncontested or contested or whatever. Joe Biden won by like 85%, 87%. And this, look, you know, came in second. Uncommitted wow. At 11%.
Wow. 85, but 85%, that's still sad. I know that that's supposed to say that it's good, but there are so many people who just like, could you put that comment up, please, Dr. Vibe, about no vote?
Well, let me get to a few comments before that. So, Dr. Taji says, no, not stepping on his tail like Satan.
Right.
Dr. says, limiting to music. Also says, oh, I'm having problems with this mouse. Here we go. Man, this mouse is giving me foolishness. Here we go. Limiting your American use in to bring so much peace.
It does.
As usual, Fitness IQ. I don't know what true means. Yes, Minnie on cam. Good to see you. Yes, this is new and live. Absolutely. And also, okay. And Dr. Tachi verifies it. Yes, live right now. JG Mars says Black America has no real choice, in my opinion. Dems,
but it's opinion. It's the one above that she's talking about, Mr.
Okay,
B.
I'm gonna get. I haven't forgot that one. And oh gosh,
you know what, JJ?
She says, Dr. Vibe, your framing looks great and new and live. Okay, so let's talk about this one first.
Okay,
Joseph.
No tangibles, no vote. I'm guessing maybe you missed the first part of our show where I was talking about how we always do our own stuff. No tangibles, no vote. We decide what we want. We go after it. We have to do it. Because here's the thing. Saying no tangibles, no vote. Like I said earlier in the beginning of the show, no one has ever given us anything. As Black people, we've always fought for it ourselves. So to expect that these politicians are going to give us things without us putting our knees on their neck, it's a fruitless idea. But here's the other part of it. Thinking that a protest vote is going to make them pay attention to you is an even more asinine idea. Because the thing is that you need to decide who you want in office and whose face you want to be in every single day until they listen to you.
And if you don't vote, you really have no dog in the race. You truly don't have a voice to even stand on. Our whole democracy depends on it. Yes, is everything flawed? Yes, it is. But are you just going to really stand back and let them continue to throw dirt on your face, or are you going to fight for it? I feel my country is worth me fighting for, whether it looks good or bad right now. It's going to continue to get worse if I don't express myself and get out and do the actions that I need in my community.
Because here, I'll tell you this. I go out and I campaign for my selected and chosen candidate. And when I go and do door-to-door canvassing, I tell people the things that I want, that I want to fight for, that I want us to mobilize and get this candidate to do that thing. I don't just sit there and wait for the candidate to bring it up, because I know they're not going to bring it up.
Nope. You got to put it out there. Make them answer the questions that you want. Demand what you want. Make them be transparent about what you want. And we here have all said over and over, and you're probably going to hear it on every doggone show. Don't just vote for the big ones. You have to go and see who is truly running for librarian, jailer, taxer, because that's how they get in. Don't just go and think that you're just going to check. Oh, I don't know who that is. I guess they're a Democrat. I'm going to check. Oh, I guess they're Republican. I'll check. Well, you need to go and check their background, because every time you vote, there is an accountability information where you can go and see what they believe and what they say, because they have to give you a statement on where they stand. In some states, I can say California, Kentucky. I didn't see one in Florida. We got an information book that literally, all the judges, all the jailers, we got all information about them way before the election. And we were able to choose, okay, we can see what they stand on, and then go look at their record. So this is not just a one-day stand in line thing. Guys, it took me weeks to go through that book. And I was grateful to have that, because then I could go and make the best decision. So if you think you just voting for one person at one time every 4 years, you're sadly missing the point.
Yep. And let's be clear, in several states, there's going to be 3 people on that final ballot in terms of the president. It's going to be Joe Biden, it's going to be Donald Trump, and it's going to be RFK Jr. And RFK Jr. told us what he thinks.
We're gonna get.
We're going to talk about that later.
We're gonna get to that. Actually, our next conversation piece. But we're gonna take a little bit of break because I think we should take a break. Dr. Tachi says a protest vote is a waste of effort, in my opinion. All right.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do, family, is we're gonna take a break. As you can tell, there's no intensity going on here. We got nothing better to do. We start off. We're just gonna. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna come back in about 2 minutes, and then we're gonna get into JFK Jr. So you're watching.
RFK Jr. died. Remember?
Yeah. Sorry. and by the way, this past week was the anniversary of Martin Luther King's Jr.'s assassination.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So let's remember that. All right. So we'll be back in just a moment. Get some water because it's going to boil up even higher. See ya. Now, what am I doing that for? New computer.
And that's what
doing that for.
And that's what I feel like. You feel like you're the Harriet Tubman of the mind.
I am.
I feel like I'm I'm one of the Harriet Tubmans of intelligent Black people. Like, I want to liberate y'all from like being left behind and ignored and oblivion. No, really, the rappers get all the attention. Seriously, does anybody else feel this way? Like ignorant Black people, they'll be all up, getting all the headlines on the Shade Room.
Overly sexualized Black folks.
Over like the twerkers and the just people that don't always represent the best of us. The diversity. Like people like Dr. Vibe. Like everybody should know about people like Dr. Vibe. Dr.
Really
Vibe he's trying to do good work for Black people.
Dr. Vibe from Toronto. Good to see you, my brother. Dr. Vibe. Everybody follow Dr. Vibe. He has a great show. He's very good at what he does, and I have a lot of respect for him. The men who are also doing the same thing. I see Dr. Vibe in here. He's a great brother. Everybody should follow Dr. Vibe, by the way. He's a smart brother in Canada, and we need to follow smart people. So follow Dr. Vibe if you see him in the chat. And Dr. Vibe, say your name in the chat so people can see you. I want you to click on his name, and I want you to go follow him, please, because I want these men and women that are doing the right things to get the support they deserve. Hey, Dr. Vibe, how you doing, brother? Again, like I always do, I got to say everybody should go follow Dr. Vibe. He's got a great show. Dr. Vibe, I know Dr. Vibe's got a kingdom because I see your channel. I see you pouring into that every day. Everybody should follow Dr. Vibe, by the way. Look him up, Dr. Vibe, V-I-B-E. He's a great friend of me and my wife, and I love this guy.
Okay, so let me hop into this. What's up, Dr. Vibe? How you doing? Everybody, if you see Dr. Vibe in the chat, everybody go follow the Dr. Vibe show. Dr. Vibe is a real smart brother and a good human being. I like the guy a lot, and he's very intelligent. And I think everyone should pay attention to what he's got going on. We got to shine the spotlight on the intelligent Black people out here that are really doing the good work. Don't just pay attention to the rappers and the celebrities. A lot of these people are losers. Your true winners are your people in your community that are really having your back. Helping us to have stronger families and a stronger community. So Dr. Vibe is in that category. So you might see the Dr. Vibe show in this chat. If you see him, please go follow him. Okay. All right. So anyway.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia, for the love and also for giving us space on your platform. So let's get to one more comment before we get into the lot. Okay. So JD Mark says, I had to speak away for a moment and might have missed a couple of things. A protest vote will eventually force other parties to earn your vote.
No, it won't, because it never has. Guess what? People have been protest voting for a long time. It has never worked. Never worked, because here's the thing. We end up with a lesser of two evils. You want to know the last time before Trump, the last time that people tried to have a protest vote, you know who won? Ronald Reagan. Now, I don't know about you, but Reaganomics was hell on my community.
And still is.
We won't even get into trickle-down economics here. So let's get to the next conversation piece. RFK Jr. raises possibly that January 6th wasn't, quote, a true insurrection.
Okay, let's be clear. That's not what he said. What his ad said was he called them activists.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
so
he did.
You got 3 people that are going to be on these ballots. 2 of them believe that one person believes they're activists. The other person believes they're hostages. Guess what the rest of us know is that if it was Black folks that went up and did that, it would have been the bloodbath that certain people with orange faces are talking about.
Yep. I just love how they're spinning this, guys. This is absolutely ridiculous. The fact that these people broke in with the intention and said it before they got in. Okay. They knew what they were doing. They had lined up, they had planned this for weeks. And if they didn't get their way, they were going to force people to give them their way. They went in with the intention of hurting people, killing people, calling out people's name on who they were going to attack. And yet you want to turn around and say, well, these were just good intention people. And they all of us, they just went up there for a good protest to show how mad they were. Oh, we're mad. And then it just turned into this riot. It turned into a riot. No, it didn't turn into no damn riot. This was an insurrection. They knew what they were doing. They were planning on doing. They're criminals and they should be in jail. It shouldn't be taking this long for all of them to be in there spending time on what they're doing. And then on top of that, you saw Trump call for them to do exactly that. You can't tell me that you can't. I mean, it's so clear. You see it before your eyes.
Yeah.
This ain't no Jedi mind trick. You saw a little bit of a taste of what's going to happen if this man gets back into that White House. We have told you over and over, he's told you what he's going to do, just like he tells them, all right, this is what I want you to do. And has said many times, stand down, Proud Boys. You know what? Come on. I've had it. These people are criminals. This was an insurrection, and he can go sit his little white tail down somewhere and talk to somebody who wants to talk to him on crazy stuff because he's crazy. He's literally crazy. His own family is like,
that's when you know something's wrong. Okay, let me tell you something. My family, we're in lockstep. Okay, but when somebody says something about one person in your family, that's one thing. But when the whole family comes out and says, no, when your own sister is out here talking about, don't vote for my brother. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. With the anti-vaxxer stuff.
Don't you think they know a little more than we do? Thank you.
Well, here's some comments here.
Everybody knows, they know.
Dr. Chachi is whenever people protest, vote, candidates usually like, quote, oh, well, next. It really doesn't have the intended effect.
She's very right about that, Dr. Vibe, because you know what? The thing is that when those candidates lose, they're going to be okay. You're still going to.
All right.
Yep.
Minnie on Cam says, I'm disabled and Canadian. I got to worry about what's happening here. Hey, unanimously agreed to lift Canadians with disabilities out of poverty, but they are dragging out funding for the benefit, which we haven't talked anything about, but I put it up there. Alma Les Luz or Bella, when you put one word comments down, you got to give me more context because these ladies move so fast. I don't get the opportunity to put things in real time. So if you can just true to what would be great.
She actually posted that after we were talking about if it was Black folks, that it would have been bloodbath on January.
So Dr. Chacha is calling an attempted coup and exercise and activism is gaslighting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, here's the other thing too, is that they're trying to do this false equivalency between January 6th and the so-called Black Lives Matters riots.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but tell me something, because I must have a faulty memory or something, because I don't remember a whole lot of riots all over the place. What I do remember, however, were a whole bunch of those Proud Boys and people like that showing up to state houses in guns, threatening people.
Exactly. And marched up there just as big as day. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you something else that happened in Los Angeles, because everybody seems to talk about that one. Black Lives Matter in Los Angeles. They did this and they did that. When the truth came out, you saw that there were people from the other side trying to instigate, putting out bricks and all that stuff. And it wasn't our people throwing them. It wasn't our people busting out windows. Yes, there were a few, but there were also plants who started that. And therefore, it went back to the truth. But nobody wants to talk about that anymore.
Because here's the thing that we know too. When we see riots happen in our community, they happen in our community. Nobody's going out to the suburbs to do this because guess what? They know they'll die.
Yep.
Point blank, period. Black folks would not go to the Capitol building.
That's right.
The military would be called out. The police. Let me tell you something.
And it just would have been a mass shooting.
Yes. So, but RFK raises a unique issue in that name recognition
is not
just
not
because
at all.
Look, this is like the worst case of nepotism I've ever seen to not work in my life.
Well,
you're named after a former attorney general for the United States of America.
Yep.
Your uncle was president.
Yep.
And you come out here, vaccines are bad.
Well, I just want to shout out someone has liked this conversation on Facebook. Someone named Will Key.
Yeah, hi, honey.
Oh, I know that name. I know that name from somewhere. So let me ask, if I'm not mistaken, RFK announced his running mate. Did he not?
Who
cares?
He announced some wealthy woman who gave him money. She's like 35, which she just made the age. And here's the other thing too. I think that young people forget when they're like, oh, we want someone younger. Yeah, but you're not going to get anyone who's under 35 because the Constitution says 35. Not only that, but the line of succession, no one can be 35.
Okay, so
under 35.
So Dr. Tachi says America is fried to a crisp, an utter failed experiment, and honestly, I'm not sure it can be redeemed.
No, it's the next comment.
And then yes, Dr. says, why is RFK still running?
Thank you.
I'd like to know.
Yeah.
Well, why is he running?
You know what? People just have these falsehood dreams. They live in a fantasy land. This man really honestly thinks that the Kennedy name is going to get him more power. It's a power play. And in his mind, in his fairy tale life, he truly believes he's going to get to that level. Some of this stuff is just complete disillusion. I mean, just madness. People just really get into this thing and they think that, you know, above all, like look at who all was running for the Republican Party, and you thinking to yourself, you think they're really going to let another person of color up there? No, I don't think so. They still mad at us at Obama. You're not happening. It's not happening.
And Scott brought out the girlfriend, and his campaign was over.
Yeah. So basically, it's just my imagination.
Are you seeing that on tour, by the way?
No, but I am doing Use Me.
I'm not even going to go there.
JFK Jr. could have done it. But I'll tell you, RFK has a lot of problems, but his biggest problem is his voice. No one wants to listen to that all the time from the president. I hated Donald Trump's horrible voice all the time, whining about this. And you know what? I'm going to say this. Because Democrats, you're not doing your best. You're not bringing your best effort forward. Because honestly, I sat there this morning when I was watching the news, and they were just running that sequence of Donald Trump saying, I heard that you could do something like that with, a light maybe shining it in the body. And injecting it in the body. And then, maybe we know disinfectant. You said you're going to test it out. We know disinfectant cleans it in a minute. Maybe we can do something like that by just injecting into the body and do a cleaning. All you need to do is just on loop, put his own stuff out from when he was president in commercials. And you know what? Let him
hang himself.
Let him campaign for you, because what we're seeing is that a lot of people have selective memory and forgot what
They
that
do.
4 years was like.
Yeah.
They're just thinking about the last thing, that check that he gave them, but they forgot that the first look, that was one check. The second check they got came from Joe Biden, and that first check they got with Donald Trump's signature, that was just a marketing ploy. Nancy Pelosi fought for that.
Yes,
Okay?
she did.
And the Democrats in the Senate fought for that. But let's be very clear. If they just kept repeating over and over and over again
The
things that
stupidity.
he said, the stupid things he said between 2017 and January 6, 2021, he'd win the election for them easy. Because I didn't forget any of that stuff. But I do realize that sometimes when they rerun it, I'm like, I forgot about that.
I know, because it was constant bombardment, 24 hours a day. We were getting tweets from this man. He never slept. So, you have a record. You have a record of everything that he said, and all he does is he come out and says, I didn't say that. And, oh, he didn't say that. Okay, pull out the records.
You have a whole year of this man at every evening, Monday through Saturday at 4:30 p.m. doing a news media thing during COVID and quarantine, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And every day he said something dumb.
Dumb.
Every day.
Every day. And half of it was misspelled. That ought to tell you something.
Not only that, when he did those conferences, but the looks on the people behind him. Remember that time that he said something and Dr. Fauci was just like,
couldn't do it. I couldn't do that because I can't keep my mouth shut.
And homegirl is watching.
I don't see how they did it. I don't see how they even managed to sit there with their mouth shut. At that point, guys, all respect for the presidency was gone. To me, it was gone a long time ago when he got into office in the first place and didn't even really believe he was going to win, y'all. So y'all can't convince me of that. My man was running, didn't think he was going to win. And then so when he did, he didn't even know what to do. Now he does because he's seen the playbook and he's got all the secrets to tell everybody. So he's playing different.
I want to jump in here. Is for both parties, are those representatives 45 and Mr. Biden the best representatives?
No, but it doesn't matter.
Then. Tell me who would be better for each party.
There's no choice right now.
We don't have a choice
in their primary. This is the race that we have. Period. They both have won the votes required. The only thing that's missing now is for the conventions to happen, and they're officially introduced as the candidates. And that's the other thing I want people to understand is that people seem to think, oh, well, he's too old, he's too that. Let me be very clear. Young people who are talking about how old he is. I remember how tightly you all were down for Bernie Sanders, who's older than Joe Biden, but his age was not a problem. So let's be clear about that, first of all. Second of all, the wishing and the hoping that there's going to be, an 11th hour play, that the shot clock's running down and there's going to be that last minute shot, that last second shot at the buzzer. It's not happening.
No. It's too late for that. And that goes to show you they don't understand the way that our government works. It does. There's a structure to this. Does the structure make sense? Lord, I wish I could change it in so many different ways. And we can if we all band together and make the change. Because if you ask me, you should not have a lifetime membership in a good old boys club called the Senate and the Congress. I think they should also have term limits as well as the Supreme Court. But it's us who have to make that change. We're the ones who have to demand it to make the change. But we are who we are, where we are right now. And I will be the first to tell you here on this show, if you ain't heard me to say it before, am I tickled about Biden? Hell no, I'm not. But he's getting my vote because Trump's not.
You know, FitNance is making a very good point here, Dr. Vibe. If you put that up on the screen, let me tell you something. At 35, I had a 7-year-old. I can't believe that someone trusted me with the awesome responsibility of caring for another human being. So let me tell you something. That alone, I know that at 35, I could not handle running a whole country.
No, that wouldn't be for me.
That
I'm just now getting to, look, I'm 54 and I'm just now getting to the point where I'm like, oh, you don't like me? I don't care. So, I mean, that wouldn't be for me. At 35, no, I was still worried about what I looked like, how my mama had raised me, and how I was supposed to be a good girl. That wouldn't be for me.
Look, I couldn't do it. Like you're talking about now, I'll be 50 in September. The best part of being 50 is menopause. I'm not gonna lie.
Done deal.
Well, I'm glad we're broadcasting on Fly Movie and Clean after that comment. All right, let's move on. Here we go. Next up, judge sides with conservative group in its push to access published voter rolls online.
Yeah, this is wrong on all levels. We know what Trump people do. We know the whole point of this is not because they want to reach out to voters. It's because they want to dox people.
Intimidate them.
They want to intimidate people. It's because let's be very clear. For those people who are out there talking about not going to vote, protest vote, this is why they gutted the Voting Rights Act. The Voting Rights Act would have protected them from doing this. The reason the judge was able to side with them is because they gutted that part of the Voting Rights Act that protected us against intimidation.
So ain't gonna be knocking on your doors. It's gonna be riding by with the big old Trump signs, the big old flags in the back, and the gun racks in the back of the truck.
So what is the intent of conservatives wanting this publishing of voter rolls?
Intimidation.
Is it continue to try to
people to not show up to the polls? Period. To scare people to the point that they don't show up to vote. Because guess what? They know what happens. Look. A judge says something, a judge does her job in DC. What happens? Somebody threatens to kill her, calls her office and threatens to kill her. Something else happens this week with Trump. He loses something else. What happens? Some crazy QAnon guy drives his car through the FBI gate there, okay? And so this is just what happens. Look, death threats. We have judges, attorneys, prosecutors. We have witnesses getting death threats. So if this is what they're doing with these trials, imagine what they'll do if they have that access to those roles. Because guess what? They already secretly do this online. Because if you go on X and you say something that conservative cuckoos don't like, they add you to a list. And then you got to go and you got to block the list and report it. And, I block.
Yeah, no, this is the new way of how they used to do us. They would give us tests and intimidate us. Oh, we got to walk 50 miles before you get to the voting center. This is the new intimidation because, first of all, it's none of their business. Our votes are our votes. You vote, you vote. You pull the lever. That's the way that it is. But anything that they can do to keep you from getting there, that's what they're going to do. And if they know your name, they got a game plan for you. We see it every day. And even in the case in Atlanta, Fonnie was telling people, no, I was not staying at my house because I have death threats. You think I'm really going to stay there? I couldn't stay with my dad because my dad was getting death threats. I couldn't put my father at risk. Nobody wants to talk about all these people who don't have the luxury of having Secret Service or security around them, that they have to move from place to place to do their best to hide where they are just to have a life. And they don't go out and enjoy life because they can't. A job is a job. Your quality of life is a separate thing. And if they can get to your quality of life, they've won.
And what's so funny is that People think that these jobs come with security. They don't. They have to pay for this out of their pocket. So he's not only costing them their safety, he's costing them money. They're having to shell out. And let me tell you, I have a friend that does security, private security. And let me tell you, people have to pay a pretty penny.
Yes, they do.
Good quality security round the clock. Because let's be very clear, these people don't just get security when they go to the office or when they on their way home. They have to have 24/7 security. And I'm sorry, for that reason and that reason alone, this man needs to be in prison. I don't care what anybody says. Hold him in prison till one of these trials comes up. I don't care. But this man needs to not be out. He is a danger. He is a danger to the lives of other people.
Yes,
and then what he does and what he says is, oh, guess what? No hands. I didn't do it. I didn't have my hands on it. I didn't do it. Somebody else did that. No. The same way you cannot yell fire in a crowded room is the same way that you cannot provoke people with your speech. See, we have this craziness, this crazy idea in America that free speech means you can say whatever you want to say without consequence.
Yeah.
And that's not true. But it's even more not true when you are on bond and you are on bail and you are a criminal defendant. Criminal defendants can't say whatever they want to say. Ask anybody who's been to prison. They will tell you that. They've been saying that on the news when they've been interviewed. Their speech is limited. And I don't care about him saying, oh, I have presidential speech. You're running a campaign because you're a criminal.
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
Prison. Okay. So because you are being criminally charged, that should trump your presidential
everything. But here we are, and now we're getting ready to take this all the way up to the Supreme Court, and we know who already is on his side. Mm-hmm. I'm tired. Okay, okay. It's the yes. I want to get back to the point of these roles do not need to be let loose to anyone. I don't care if it's MAGA side. I don't care if it's conservative. I don't care if it's left. These roles need to stay exactly where they are. No one needs to know where anybody lives, and no one is vetting. No, I have a right as an American citizen to vote. I have been vetted. I don't need you to come and recheck me. We're putting people in danger.
Privacy too, Lala.
Yes,
you have a right to privacy, because the same people talk about, oh, I want my right to privacy, are the same people asking for these voter rolls. And let's be very clear.
Right.
Let's be very clear. These people taking these roles, guess what? Guess who else sides with those conservative groups? Black folks, brown folks, the KKK. So
I haven't heard those letters in a long time.
Oh,
they took their hoods off. You can see.
I thought I had to tell people that there was a WKKK too, and they're like, "Oh, you're lying." And then they started looking up. They're like, "No, they are the women of the Ku Klux Klan."
Yes, they are.
Because the men wouldn't let them be official parts of it. But yeah, those people will get access to your roles. Because guess what? There's a couple of white supremacists in the Republican Party. We know this because one just got recalled. I forget what state it was, but he just got recalled from the state house because he lied and said that he had no affiliation. Come to find out, they check him 2 years after he was elected, however, but find out that he was, and so they recalled him.
Voter suppression doesn't seem to ever stay out of the spotlight, does it, in your country?
No,
and it never has, because
it never left.
Because guess what? The very people for whom voter intimidation, the reason that we have a Voting Rights Act, have been intimidated on the right to vote since we were made citizens of this country, since our ancestors, and since the 13th Amendment, and our ancestors became citizens. And here we are, all these years later, still going through the same thing.
And actually, at some point, we thought we had gained some ground, but all of a sudden, here we are back again with the exact same tactics with, just newer names.
Yep. And if you're not familiar with the Voting Rights Act, let me break it down to you. The Voting Rights Act of 1965, in a nutshell, basically said those former slaveholding states, those former states that had Jim Crow, the Jim Crow states, the former Confederate states, that they could not, because we know all elections are run by states, they could not make any changes to their state laws without the permission of the U.S. Department of Justice.
Which they're planning on getting rid of.
That's what it meant, was that they can't make any changes because their tendency was to make changes to disenfranchise the rights of Black and brown voters, but specifically Black voters. And so that law that, let's be very clear, we put pressure on Lyndon B. Johnson to sign, was to say that those states can't do the literacy tests. They can't make people do stupid things like count how many jelly beans in a jar. They can't do any of those. They can't do the grandfather clause, where if your grandfather or great grandfather voted, then you can register to vote. They can't, when you go to register to vote, shoot you dead on the town hall lawn like they did to a man in that time. So that's what that meant. And the part that they got rid of that particular provision. And that's why all these states now can do all these things that they're doing with, giving access to voter rolls, changing ID, and then deciding whose ID is valid and who's not. That is why the loss of the gutting of that act hurts us so much.
And if you didn't listen to last week, if it goes the way that they want, they're going to take it from you anyway. So all this is being put into place. But if they get who they want in that president's seat, they're not going to need to ask judges for anything.
They're going to repeal
everything.
The Voting Rights Act of 1965 with one that protects the votes of white Americans, but not any other Americans. And let me be very clear: protects the votes of straight, Anglo, cisgendered, Christian, white men, and guess what?
Women, open your eyes.
And let's be very clear, because they might put the other part back in from the 1800s, the late 1700s.
They're already talking about it. They said a woman has no place. They want, these Christian nationalists want you back in the kitchen, not working. You don't have any say to do anything. They said that you have ruined everything.
Yep.
You want divorces, you want to be equal, you want to do this, you want equal pay, your vote don't count. So they're going to put you right back where they want you. They said it.
And if you're a white man, they're going to put you back. They're going to set y'all back to the days that you have to be a property owner.
Yeah.
In order to vote.
And who's buying all the property right now, ladies and gentlemen? Big corporations.
And the corporations, yep.
And who are they run by?
White men.
The rich, ultra rich white men. You know, the same guy that gave Trump $175 million when that man has defaulted on just about every other loan.
Everything.
You know what? Let me tell you something.
Just before you go any further, let me tell you something. And also, I saw Lala going the head. I'm going, this is us all. Go on, keep on going. I just want to interrupt. Go ahead now, please.
Do you know how hard it is to get a loan for a mortgage?
Yeah.
And banks are lining up to give this man who has bankrupted every business he's ever had. That to me does not spell like good business sense. It doesn't sound that way. What is wrong?
I need to get to the nucleus core of this man. And that's the problem. I can't, because I can't fathom someone who is actually smart or smart with money allowing him to do this with the high risk. Now, everything that he has done in his life, he has been saved and gained. Because when it came to don't y'all forget this part, when it came to the daggone casinos, when he ran into the ground and he was trying to get rid of Marla, he got enough money to get him out of that and then also pay off Marla so he could marry somebody else.
Because he sued his business partners in the in the casinos that he ran into the ground. He's doing that now with Truth Social. Remember, two people on the Apprentice made Truth Social for him, and now because he's gonna try and unload his stock for $600 million, he's suing them to keep them from making money too.
That's right. That's his whole thing.
I figured out what the nexus is and why people give him money like this, particularly in these days and times when he's going to owe so much behind these court cases. Power.
All right,
they want the power.
Let's move forward. Want to shout out to Michelle Baptiste, who is giving a thumbs up to this conversation on the Dr. Vibe Show Facebook channel. Next up, video shows California deputies fatally shooting abducted teen as she surrenders.
This hurt because the girl was being abducted by her father. Her father.
Who had just murdered her mother.
She surrendered. She put her hands out the car. They saw, and she was telling them, I've been kidnapped. I've been kidnapped. They fatally shot her. Then they shot her father. What kind of justice system is this?
But you hear the cop on the tape telling her, get out the car, sweetheart, get out the car, sweetheart, get out the car, get out the car, walk to me, walk to me, walk to me, walk to me. She's doing everything that he's telling her to do, and they shot her, and he said, stop shooting her. He said this, stop shooting her, it's not her.
Yeah. And then the part of it that was even more egregious is the fact that they then lied about
and
what
edited the footage,
edited the dash cams. They tried to say that she had the weapon when it was her father who had the weapon. Anything so that they don't get caught. I'm sorry. Where is the accountability?
Well, here's the thing, Aisha, and this is what sickens my heart. I literally just got sick to my stomach thinking about it. California has let the police departments become so corrupt and done nothing about them. Period. I don't understand it. Don't know why. Don't even see how when their record has been so strong with being so corrupt. So it's not just the LAPD. And the ones who don't get on the LAPD, they go to the other departments, which is San Bernardino, Orange County. So now you're seeing more of those in the bigger cities. I can't attest for San Francisco. I only can attest for the ones that I saw. I'm going to tell you right now, I was scared to death of the police. I made sure everything I was in. We had a nice car. We have a beautiful car. We had tinted windows. But in certain areas, I knew to roll my windows down and to have my phone right next to me so that I can tape or call my husband immediately on speed dial if I got stopped, so that he could hear what was going on, because I wasn't a question on if they were going to hurt me or not.
Yeah, I did a study some years back for the state on racial profiling in traffic stops on the interstate highways in Connecticut. And when I was thinking about this case, there was that image was juxtaposed by another one. In Wisconsin, the police union endorsed Donald Trump.
Yes.
When he gave that speech where he's talking about Latino people being subhuman, unhuman, and he's saying that while he's flanked with these police officers. So if they support him and they're listening to him say this, I worry for the Latino people in Milwaukee. I worry for the Black people in Milwaukee, because this is where it was, in Milwaukee, because law enforcement, they don't believe you're human.
And didn't they just endorse him again this week?
Mm-hmm. That was this week. like right when they like one news show that I saw did a side by side of this shooting and then the police unions in endorsing him, and it was crazy.
Yeah. I don't see any change at all or any effort to change at all in California, the police departments. It's just too deep. It's too power hungry fed, and there's too many people in bed with one another. And I do not see any time soon this getting any better. I simply just don't trust them, and it's a shame that you can't trust your own law enforcement. I literally, I have not told this story very often, but I will tell it here. When we first moved to California, I was going to go show a home in Watts, and it was a special home project. It was like called Good Neighbor Next Door, where homes are offered for teachers, firefighters, police officers, and EMTs. And so only those people could see and bid on a home. And there was one that was right on the border of Watts and Compton. I ain't scared of either one of them because I've met some of the nicest people there. However, 2 doors down, obviously there was a drug house of some sort. I literally was showing a house, and when I got in my car to leave, and my little bug, I have my little bug called Jolene. I got to start the car, and all of a sudden, the SWAT team races in and tells me I can't leave. They're in SWAT gear. They're in, everything. They were raiding the house 2 doors down. Instead of letting me go, they told me to put my head down. Now you got SWAT gear on. You expecting to get shot at and everything else, but you're going to allow me to be in the line of fire. So I knew immediately I could never trust them.
Yeah.
And thank God nothing happened. They pulled them all out with no shots done. But from this little old girl from Prospect, Kentucky, which got hit by a tornado this week, y'all. My hometown got hit by a tornado. To Los Angeles, that was my wake-up call.
And we've talked about this before. I've talked about it. I've written about it a few times that I was actually sexually assaulted by a police officer. So my trust in police, I know the police aren't going to protect me.
Yeah. I don't see it.
Yeah.
I feel just sick to my stomach that this poor little girl's life was taken by people she should have been able to trust.
Mm. Yeah.
Okay, well, enough said. J.G. Marr says Kamala is an expert at protecting California law enforcement.
It's no secret.
Cinnamon Canella says, hey there, it's been a minute. No, it's been an hour, Cinnamon Canella. It's not been a minute, it's been an hour. And Minnie on Cam shares.
We miss you in the Discord group, Cinnamon.
Yes.
Yeah. She goes, I hate when the police show up for a wellness check on me. I'm never going to trust them. They broke my mother's arm when I was 9.
Yeah, and when you live with a disability, and like for example, seizures are considered disabilities, you're already going through something frightening.
Yeah.
And they don't necessarily help the situation, they exacerbate it, because guess what? Police are there to basically arrest, control. Someone who's facing a crisis, a health crisis, they don't need to be arrested. They don't need to be controlled. What they need is a medical professional there at the scene who can diagnose, assess, and treat. Period. And I'm sorry you've had to go through that, Minnie.
Yeah.
All right. Last conversation piece. I don't know. I know there's going to be heat on this one. Louisiana HB 777 would criminalize librarians and libraries who join the American Library Association.
I wish these alligator-eating backwoods people would stop the nonsense. Why are we criminalizing librarians and for joining the American Library Association? That's the biggest union for libraries and librarians.
But they don't want us to read, Aisha. They're taking our books and they're making it a criminal to read. So therefore, who are they going after? The librarians. Because who's going to want to continue to risk their life just like the teachers. They're going after the teachers over their stupid laws because they can't teach properly and they can't allow people to read.
Yep. And then they want to complain that, oh, there's no good teachers in our schools. No, because all the good teachers are leaving because you want to arrest them. Here's the part that bothers me. Books that they're banning have been, when did you all get problems with these books? Like, for example, To Kill a Mockingbird has been a mainstay of high school reading list for years. It's in 2024.
Catcher in the Rye.
Yes. But look, I read Catcher in the Rye, 9th grade, advanced placement English. Okay, let me tell you something. That was in 1988. You mean to tell me in 2024 you got a problem?
All of a sudden. And the ones who had the problem was the one we all had to read it at the same age.
Yeah. And guess what? 1988, that was the tail end of the conservative 80s. You mean to tell me 2024 is more conservative than the 80s? I mean, like I said before, we got the tipper sticker on those parental advisory stickers because Tipper Gore tried to stop her daughters from listening to Darling Nikki by Prince, right?
Yep.
Look, I guess, oh my God forbid some of these parents listen to Prince.
Girl, they do.
No,
they do.
No, God, they listen to the popular stuff. God forbid they listen to the deep cuts or the B-sides because, oh my God, look, they'll cancel Prince and the man's not even here.
Right, exactly. That's the whole point. Wipe us out.
Like, I get the feeling that a certain sector of America wants a whole bunch of people in jail.
Yeah. They want a white America again.
But they've said
but librarians, I probably think that most of the frontline South, the majority are white.
They don't care if you don't have power or money. They don't care about you.
Mm-hmm.
You know used to them if you live in the Appalachian Mountains.
No, they
live in the backwoods.
Look, they don't care.
Or live in Florida.
Listen, they don't care to the point that
live in the backwoods. I'm not from Kentucky.
The Appalachian people, the people that live in the Appalachian, our poor white folks, guess what? They got their local governments testing the health of fluoride on children by giving their babies Mountain Dew to put in bottles.
Yeah.
They don't care about them either.
No.
And here, as Minnie on Can says, the majority of librarians are women. They're going to put women in jail.
Yeah.
But they're already putting us in jail right now over the abortion thing. You can have a freaking miscarriage, which you have no control over. And now you can be arrested and put in jail. How dare you have a...
But here's the part that kills me is that Louisiana's a right to work state, but the American Library Association is voluntary. People pay dues to join it. That again, in my opinion, is it's a right to privacy issue, because here's the thing, it's a professional association. That's like me being a member of the National Association of Black Journalists. I'll be damned if somebody tells me I can't join that and they're going to criminalize me. For what? For networking with people who do what I do?
It's coming to the real estate world already. So.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw that. They're already on their way to do that. The next thing they're going to do is they're going to criminalize teachers from joining the NEA, which is National Education Association, a union for teachers. They're going to and once the only one that they're not going to criminalize, the police unions and the fire unions.
Got that right. So all these, okay, so who you think is going to be the next librarians, y'all? Mothers or Liberty?
Mothers for Liberty. Yep. The daughters of the White Citizens Councils from the 60s.
So Cinnamon Canella says librarians are the best, and here in Florida they are working hard to keep books and movies that have been banned, unquote.
They are. I have to say that there are a lot of people, a lot of librarians in Florida who are fighting back. But if they make it a crime, honey, it don't matter how hard they fight.
You know what? You know, we have this thing where every week we talk about taking the saw and sawing off Florida from the rest of the country. I really think that we need to just saw off the whole bottom of the United
I
States.
do too.
Let's
I'm
just take
with
out the whole black belt, okay?
Just take
Because
Take it.
because or better yet, how about all the rest of us move
A
up
little bit
north
higher.
and west and let them have it. Just let them have it. And then they can make all their own laws. They can criminalize everything. Hell, they can criminalize giving money to homeless people.
They already have. No.
That's right.
Wait,
That's
they
right.
have.
I forgot.
They
I forgot.
have.
Look, as soon as I said it, I remember. But look, let them have that region of the country and just, you know what, I wouldn't say this ordinarily, but things have gotten so bad. You know how they're talking about they want to secede? I say give them that part of the country. Let them secede. Let them have their own government. But guess what? That means you are not covered by the Constitution. You get no federal
Don't call
funds.
us.
You get no federal funds.
Nope. Next flood, don't
and
call us.
Look, in all the wealthy states, and I live in one of the states that pays the top 3, pays the most into the pot that they take from. I will be very happy for them to not do that because guess what? We'll get maybe some of our money back. It came out yesterday that the taxes that Connecticut has the highest property tax, second highest property taxes in the country. Why do you think we have second highest property taxes? Because we got to make money so that we can pay for Alabama and Mississippi to get federal funds
Every year. Because we know what's happening every year.
April
Thank
Watson
you,
says
April.
getting rid of books, but not the internet.
Thank you. That's doing more damage to kids than books are. They just did a study about how across the world, particularly for young girls, the internet is damaging their self-esteem.
All these doctor
People getting
pictures and
radicalized
stuff.
on the internet.
Yeah.
But I don't know how your
Minnie on Cam says to April Watson, they go on the internet. They're trying to sue adult sites right now.
Yeah, but you know, that crazy man who now makes I have to find a new pizza restaurant because the local pizza place here that I go to, mom and pop, you know, we have some of the best pizza in the country. Mom and pop store decided that they were going to open a store in Florida, and guess who endorsed them? Guess who endorsed them? Ron the freaking DeSantis. So now the last pizza I bought from them was last week. It is the last. And they're right down the street from me. But anyway, what I was going to say about Florida is that how is he going to enforce the social media ban that he's doing for kids under 14?
He can't.
Y'all
have to check out what we said on our 10 and 10 on that. We discussed it.
All right. We're done. We over. Lala's got a show tomorrow, and she needs to save her energy. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Ladies, thank you as always for taking the most valuable thing, your time, to hang out with us today. I think it was rather entertaining and educational and all those things. So before we let you go, let's get your contact information. So first things first, the lady with the puffy hair, and check out the nail polish. I saw that.
Look, I went fancy.
Nice.
I went all fancy.
I saw the nail game and the hair game's up another level, right?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
How can people get a hold of you?
Well, you know, it was called to my attention this week. Somebody asked me, what do you do? Well, if you go to the Realty Goddess, you're going to see that that's the real estate side. But if you want to see me and me outside of that, living my life purpose, you can find me at Living the La Life. And in some of the platforms, they won't let me put life. But if you put Living the La, you're going to find me.
Fair enough. Next up, Aisha K.
Well, it says my Instagram thing there, but know that I'm like an intermittent Instagram user. And if you see posts on Facebook, it's because my Instagram is tied to my Facebook. I do X if I have something to say, but the best way to get in contact with me is through our Discord channel.
Enough said. All right, family. We is done. And if you want to get hold of me, Here are all the places: website, the drvibeshow.com, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn is the drvibeshow. Instagram, the drvibeshow, x drvibeshow, and email dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. All right, before we shut it down, there's a few more comments here at the end. Okay, let's get Jen Myers. Great show. Thank you for helping make it a great show. Wow, Dante Godfrey, haven't seen you in a month, and I mean longer than a month. And it's not minute, it's a month. And Leslie always enjoyed the show. Leslie McEwen, got to shout her out. Black psychotherapist for over 30 years. Black. Leslie, when can you come on the show? I want to see that happen. I'd love you to come on and talk about psychotherapy from a Black lens. Please consider it. I'm actually going to call you this week and bug you. All right. Let's get it all done here. So a few last things before we escape and get poofy hair. Primetime Saturday with Aisha and Lala at Patreon. There's the link. And I've also shared it on many of the platforms in the comment section. There is the store. Again, join the Discord group. That's the only way you'll probably get in contact with Aisha, by the way. And subscribe to the Dr. Vibe show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Also follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And finally, to advertise your business, product, or service on this platform, any other ones I host or show up on, email me dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. So as always, this is how we end it off. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions. Then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Remember to give yourselves grace and don't just manage your time, manage your energy, and tell people about the conversation. And big thanks to all the people who are watching live. Numbers are going up on the live. Thank you so much. We don't take it for granted, and tell other people about it. God bless. Peace well. Keep the faith and walk good.